Hi, everybody. Author John W. Mefford here. It's nice to see everyone here on a Tuesday evening. And this is my second video here in the world of Facebook. So thank you for joining me. A couple things I wanted to cover here this evening with you. Um, I guess, first of all, what am I working on right now? My Alex Trout series. I'm working right now currently on the fourth book in the series, on the first draft of that, while I'm also working with my editor Jan on the edit and the corrections and enhancements and so forth of number 3 in that series. Plenty to talk about in that series, and I can't wait to discuss more about that series. We'll save that for next week. Um, I also mentioned a top secret project that I'm working on with another co-author. Hope to be able to mention that as well. Maybe not next week, but maybe the week after that. That'll be a nice surprise to come up and discuss. I wanted to talk a little bit to you today about Booker, my Booker series. 6 novels in the series. I wrote them all, or at least published them all, last year in 2015. And one of my favorites in the series is Booker Blood Ring. Um, it's the 4th book in the series. While they can be read as standalone, of course, reading the series makes it even that much more interesting. But each of them can be read individually. Booker, who has been called the King of Cool by a couple of reviewers, which I found pretty funny, but at times pretty appropriate. He is a pretty cool character. Some people have called him Shaft. The reviews, other people have compared him to Alex Cross from the James Patterson books. I think those are pretty appropriate um, types of comparisons. Although I definitely think he stands on his own. And Blood Ring, one of the perspectives I wanted to provide in Blood Ring is to look at really tense, uh, very um, you know raw situation with somebody being held captive against their will through their eyes. And so, while most of the book is told from Booker's perspective as usual, there are a few chapters in here dedicated to an individual who's very close to Booker, at least close to one of his very good friends, um, who's being held captive. And so that's one of the things I wanted to try to explore in this book, is to take that perspective. So Booker Blood Ring is on sale this week. First time ever, the ebook version has been discounted down to 99 cents on all your major online retailers, Amazon, Kobo, Apple, and Barnes & Noble. And, I think about Blood Ring. Um, One of the visuals that I had in Blood Ring, and actually you can see it, read about it in the first chapter of Blood Ring, is my vision for writing that very, very first scene. And for those of you that are from Dallas or familiar with Dallas, and even if you're not, um, there's an airport in Dallas called Love Field Airport. And there's a lake called Bachman Lake, which is just on the north side of that. And you can literally take a road across this bridge and get to this small side road right next to the north end there of the airport. And I've been over there many, many years ago with the fog setting in, and you can see the lights shining down and flashing from the airport right nearby. It's like you can reach up and just practically grab the fence there. And it's right by the lake, and it's this very strange setting to have the airport and the fences and the huge walls there with a little bit of serenity with some trees, a little bit of grass. The road there is very narrow, hardly any cars drive down it at all. The lake there is very serene, not much going on. Across the way there is Northwest Highway. Used to be a scene for a number of bars and places. Anyway, I just remember being over there years ago and that vision of what that scene felt like and looked like, and that's something that I wanted to incorporate, and I did, into the first chapter, which this book definitely starts out in a very thriller-like situation. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. In celebration of the discount this week, so it's just from Monday until Sunday, the discount of the ebook down to 99 cents. I'm actually going to give away one paperback copy of Booker Blood Ring. And for those of you who comment down below here on the Facebook page, why don't you just share with me what you think are your most suspenseful memories either in real life, or maybe it's another book, or maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's one of the book or novels that you're going to share. Maybe it's something personally that you experienced that was just unbelievably suspenseful. One of the quotes of one of the reviewers here that has been hard for me to forget was somebody that said, "I found myself holding my breath." And I can definitely imagine that if you're reading certain scenes in this book. So anyway, I'm going to give away this book. Share with me your most suspenseful moments that you've experienced in your life, or through a book, mine or otherwise, or a movie, and just share that in the Facebook page, and I'll pick somebody who I really relate to or think is really cool, and then I'll send you this free paperback, and I'll even sign it for you. So feel free to sign up down below here in the Facebook page. So that's what's going on in a major way this week. I think I want to keep it pretty short this week. Not a whole lot else I wanted to share. I told you about my current work in progress, and got some big news to share next week, as I mentioned. One more thing. I know a lot of folks are probably asking, especially friends, why I use the name John W. Mefford. It's kind of a funny little story. I'll tell you real quickly. When I first started writing a few years ago, I looked up the URL for my name, and John Mefford was taken. So instead of being the bright guy and actually, changing the URL maybe to John Mefford Books, I went ahead and included the middle initial. I think probably because I'd read so many Grisham books in my life that I just had this feeling of using an initial, like he does for a lot of his lawyers, using a first or a middle initial. So that's just where my mind went. So as it goes, of course, I now have John W. Mefford on all of my books, and that's my website as well, of course, johnwmefford.com. So that's the history behind why I use the W in my middle initial in my author name. So that'll do it for this week. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.